Doing a little music.
She'll be
Arc
coming round the
angelic
mountain.
tear. Alrighty.
She'll be coming round the mountain.
Do you want me to chime in or not? What the hell? Alrighty, welcome back to I Am Setsuna. Kir has joined the party. He's one of us now.
One of us.
So, I don't know if it's like the Setsuna Curse, but like every time I record some of this, we get an actual blizzard.
I know.
Inappropriate for I Am Setsuna.
Well, because here's the thing. We're like, oh, let's play I Am Setsuna. Well, let's wait until winter, because it'll be snowy.
Mm-hmm. So we started around, I think, either like November or December or something like that.
And that's like, it has started to snow.
And, like,
it is still snowing.
We're coming up on April, and like it's nice for a few days, and then the snow comes back, and it's just like, well, Setsuna time.
I know, it killed all my daffodils.
Oof.
They didn't even get to bloom.
Aww.
Yeah, it makes me sad.
But anywho, I'm gonna try to take on a Spritnite Eaten Monster now that I got Setsuna with us.
Setsuna's like, I'm all better.
Come here, little critter.
They sewed my insides back inside.
They put Setsuna back together again. Alright, so let's see what we got here. Okay, so immediately he goes for a handstand, so we're going to wait it out. Because he has increased evasion.
His snowball's turning pink. What does a pink snowball mean?
I think it means his evasion is high. So he like casted a haste spell on him. Yeah, because I'm missing. Not even my spells work.
Yeah, well, I thought you couldn't hit them when they were
You
on top of
usually
their
could hit them
snowballs.
with spells. Damn, I missed again. I think this guy just has very high evasion naturally. Damn it.
Woof. Someone hit the squirrel, man.
Meese.
The squirrel's like,
There we go.
miss me again.
You've been thunderstruck. But look at that EXP.
Nice.
1,000. So that's why you want to take on the Spritnite Eaten Monsters. But you want to be well prepared. Because they are very vicious. But there we go. Sorry about the little detour. Back to the main story. Dun, dun, dun. What?
I just love the way they look on the map because they look like giants.
Yeah. The whole world looks so small and minuscule compared to me.
Like, that's kind of how I feel walking around my family.
Back up the tallest mountain.
Because everyone in my family is so short except for my brother.
Yeah, and then you meet me and my friends and you realize that
I'm
you're
like,
all
you're
small.
giants! Well, I feel like my brother is around the same size as most of your friends.
Okay.
Like 6'1".
Yeah. Is your brother the tallest of your family?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, everyone else is pretty short. I have some cousins out west that are tall, but...
Bunch of hobbits.
Yeah, they're all very small.
Or maybe you're closer to dwarves. Because hobbits are like extremely short. Whereas dwarves are just kind of like stout.
My family's not very hairy, though.
Good point.
Like, my brother has quite the beard, but
Hobbits it is then.
we're like a crossbreed. Go, Indeer, go! He's like, nope, turn around. Shit.
Alright. These look like some other Spritnite Eaten Monsters. Have at thee, demons!
These ones look super fluffy.
Silvara. Oh, they have a lot of HP. Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna flee. Because that didn't really do much. They each have about 2,000 HP.
Ooh.
Freezing gaze.
Oh, no!
Uh-oh. That's like petrification.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
no.
shit.
You about to die.
No fair. Oh.
Oh.
The pilgrimage ended in failure. Oh.
Woof.
Well, so that was I Am Setsuna, folks. Thank you all for watching. This was a fun playthrough. We'll see you guys in the next game.
I Am Setsuna Part 2. Woof.
This company actually made another game after I Am Setsuna called Lost Sphere.
Oh.
And it's about, like, restoring the world from a mysterious fog.
Okay.
Yeah. So I Am Setsuna is very much like a contained story. Like, it begins, it ends, no sequel. There's not even plans or talks of a sequel. Unlike Child of Light, where there was discussion for a sequel, it just never left the drawing board.
Okay.
Because, like, that was the whole purpose of those letters.
Yeah.
Was, like, foreshadowing a potential sequel that never came to pass.
Right.
And now when the director is asked about it, it's just like, I've moved on.
Which happens. And I mean, like, you can't fault them for that.
I know.
It is still kind of like, oh.
It's how I feel with Castlevania, which was why I made, like,
Your
fan
game.
games to try and, like, bridge it myself, because the director was, like, building up, like, this climax, this big war that ends Dracula, and even did games afterwards, but people were just like, I just want to see the war. How'd this all go down? It was, like, a big thing, and he was building to it. I think he just got a little too comfy and kept making games, and the company was just like,
Alright.
you're out.
Yeah.
But what happens to the future of the series? Hear me out. Pachinko machines.
See, I'm over here like, first time. Because so many of like the animes that I watch are like one season. And the story goes on in the mangas, but there's only one season of the anime. And I'm just like...
See, that's the thing. Like, this story is nowhere to be found. And when asked about it now, he's like, I've been away from that company for over a decade now.
Yeah.
I'm doing Bloodstained.
Well, it's like, even though... my argument to that would be like, the animes are all very different than the mangas. Like, you have your anime fans and you have your manga fans.
That's true.
Because it's, I mean... Because that's how I feel about Sailor Moon. Like, I never read the manga, and I love the 90s anime, and the people love the new one because it's like the manga, and I'm just like, eh. Which leads me to believe that I wouldn't like the manga.
Right.
I'd probably love the artwork, but as for like the characters, I feel like I would feel differently. If that makes sense.
No, it does. Because, like, that's where I'm a little confused with, like, the Netflix series Castlevania right now. Is I'm like, are they eventually building up to that story? Because I don't think the director is involved in that. But I'm also like...
Because they use different characters, though, don't they? Like, Trevor's not in the game.
Yes, he is. He's in the third game.
Oh.
No. The first 2 seasons of the Netflix series is an adaptation of Castlevania 3 Draculas Curse.
Okay.
And ideally, I thought they'd be going into Symphony of the Night next. But the way, like, season 3 and 4 go into, I'm just like, okay, well, there's no point to go into Symphony of the Night. But apparently there is talks about, like, Rondo of Blood and Symphony of the Night, and I'm just like, how? That story as a whole contradicts what you just did in the show.
See, I don't know, because I remember we were having heated discussions. I wouldn't call it argument, but heated discussions about it, and how you were saying, like, oh, well, they should have gone to Japan. Yes. Because that's what happens in the game, and I'm like, okay, but that doesn't make sense in the span of the show. Like, why would they go to Japan? Why would they just, like, up and be like, all right, deuces, time to go to Japan? Like, it just didn't necessarily help the flow.
I thought they were leading to Japan.
Yeah.
Especially when it's just like, hey, Alucard, we need help in Japan. So I was just like,
but
it would make the most sense.
Did they say that they needed help in Japan?
Yes, they did, but they never left the castle. Which started the whole, like, usurper mutiny thing or whatever they did. Like, the 2 twins, they were having trouble with, like, a certain vampire. And then after it was destroyed, they need help like back at their homeland. And Alucard's like, I will train you for that.
Okay.
So like me playing the games, I thought this is how they're going to connect how Alucard, spoiler, ends up in Japan.
Yeah.
The way the series goes, eventually Alucard goes to Japan.
Yeah. I just feel like that could get really messy because then it's like, all right, he helps them or does whatever he has to do. And then it's like, yay, mission completed, time to go home. Like, it just...
See, I didn't know.
Yeah,
I didn't
it just
know if they
doesn't...
were, like, building towards where the games go, or if they were doing their own thing.
I feel like that's a really challenging thing to do.
And, like, it was the payoff in the 4th season where I was like, okay, most of that was really cool.
Yeah.
I still don't like most of the interactions with characters. I also didn't like how there's a child predator in Castlevania.
There is no child predator! Not one!
It's just like,
It's one of my favorite
God,
quotes.
really?
I feel like that's a really difficult...
I have to admit that, like, seeing it all planned out, I am satisfied with the 4th season and how the show ended.
Yeah.
Like, apparently that's the end of the director, but not the end of the show. Like, they're continuing in Rondo of Blood, which, again, going all the way back to my first point, Rondo of Blood is kind of like doing the story and giving the closure between Alucard and his father, which we already have. So, what are you doing with Rondo of Blood?
I mean, they could just be taking the characters.
But half of them are dead.
Well, that's the thing. It might not be a continuation of that story. Does that make sense? So it's like, all right, Trevor and Sypha, their story wrapped up with a nice little bow, shipped to the back of the shelf. Let's start again.
All right.
Because that's kind of how I feel what the games do in a way. Because it's like, correct me if I'm wrong, I've only played 1.
Yes.
I've only watched 2.
Yes.
But they kill Dracula at the end of every game, right?
Bingo.
There you go. So
in the games, it works. In a story, especially when you give him like so much sympathy.
But not if you open up your mind to it. Because think of how like...
Careful with your wording.
Well, no. Are you familiar with American Horror Story?
Yes.
Okay. So that's what they do. So for 1 season, it's a story. And then they wrap it up with a nice little ribbon. And they ship it to the back. And then the next season is a completely new story.
Okay.
You have all the same actors. Even some of the same characters. But it's completely new. It has
no continuation.
It has very little connection to the previous one. So it's all just in the name.
Okay.
So it's like they could be going that route of like, all right, that whole story has been wrapped up. Nice little bow. Let's move on. This is also called Castlevania, but it is a different story.
Okay.
So they could be doing something like that.
So we kind of went a little overboard. Like, we got off topic because, like, I was retreading and killing enemies because I died. And what's happening now is the mysterious man who gave us the job way at the beginning of the game is like, she's still alive. Explain yourself. What did I pay you for? What the hell do I pay these ninjas for? Gotta do everything myself. And Endir is just like, there's no need to kill her. She's gonna die anyways.
They're like, well, she wants to kill herself. So I'm just escorting her.
So now the mysterious man is just like, well, my client said specifically kill her, but if she dies anyways, I don't know what my client wants. So, carry on. Carry on, my wayward son.
There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest.
Quit playing with my beard. I was like, what the hell is she doing?
It's even better because people can't see us.
Thank God.
So they just... so they don't see that how often I just reach over and I'm like, pluck.
Yeah. You don't know much about keeping your hands to yourself.
No. In public, I do.
Good.
I don't like to touch people that aren't you.
I'll take it. All right, so here we go. So now we're back with the crew. Our lips are sealed. Is there something you wish to tell me?
Don't die! Setsuna!
Don't die.
Don't die!
Well, I mean, eventually I do have to die. So, What about the time when we all got frozen? Didn't happen.
He's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, these ones are different. The other ones had like a blue tint to them.
Oh, I thought the other ones, their color was reversed.
Oh, was it?
Oh, I don't remember.
I noticed a lot more blue
I think I made it up.
on them. Sure.
But I thought they were like black with white tips.
White tips? Okay. We'll have to look back on the footage when we put all this together.
Because I'm not sure.
I'm right.
I know that's how the squirrels are. Like the weaker squirrels are the white ones, and then the stronger squirrels are the little black ones.
Yep. Maybe it was just like their ice spell that I saw all the blue. There was a lot of blue.
So much blue.
Alrighty. We should be near the end of this trek. Through the mountains. They say there's a village nearby.
She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes.
Doing a little music.
She'll be coming round the mountain.
Angelic tear. Alrighty.
She'll be coming round the mountain.
Do you want me to chime in or not? What the hell? She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes.
Those are the only words I know.
Oh, okay. Those are the only words. Oh, she'll be riding 6 white horses when she comes. She'll be riding 6 white horses when she comes. She'll be riding 6 white horses. She'll be riding 6 white horses. She'll be riding 6 white horses when she comes.
Is there anything after that?
I don't know. I think it just like keeps going. You really jogged my memory. That was like way back.
I just crawled into the depths of your brain.
Like now that we're back there, I went to the animal fair. The birds and the beasts were there. The big baboon one night in June was curling his auburn hair. The monkey he got drunk and sat on the elephant's trunk. The elephant sneezed and fell on his knees, and that was the end of the monk.
I don't know that one at all.
That one was just like awoken when you sang the other song. It was just like, well, why don't we just dust this one off for a little while? Show the little lassie how our memory goes.
See, I feel like my whole memory has been tainted because when we would go camping with the Boy Scouts, because my brother was a Boy Scout, my mom was troop leader. So like me and my sister would often go on their camping trips. And
also proud that I didn't trip over my tongue while I was singing.
Yeah, that was good. But she had this whole book of like campfire songs for the Boy Scouts, and they were all just wrong enough. And so like,
of course.
Like again, it's one of those situations. I thought it was Puff the Magic Maggot.
Can we? What the hell is wrong with you? Can we release like a parody,
like a Just Wrong Enough
album called Just Wrong Enough?
Yes.
Where you sing like all these classic songs, but you get the lyrics just
wrong enough to avoid copyright. Yes.
Don't go fishing under waterfalls. we could do like a mock album. All your favorites of Don't Go Fishing Under Waterfalls.
They're going to be like, what? From Just Wrong Enough.
Puff the Magic Maggot.
Lives in my trash.
Puff the Magic Maggot. Lives in my trash.
Like, she had a whole binder of them. Of just, like, Just Wrong Enough. There was one about roadkill that I wish I could remember.
We need to do, like, a track listing. The new Just Wrong Enough album featuring these songs.
Scrolls up the screen. And for our holiday, we have 12 Days of Tim Curry. 5 in the game.
Very nice. And ears pulsating. Hey, you want to throw one of those antidotes my way?
It's like I'm slowly dying here.
Oh, heals all allies. Interesting. Oop.
I feel like those little foxes are like flashers. Because when they run, they like open their arms. They have like little coats on.
Freedom!
Hey kid, wanna buy a sundial?
Yeah.
Like,
wanna buy a sundial?
These little foxes are just trying to sell their wares.
Mm-hmm. Hey, we're trying to stimulate our economy too.
I know. They go home to their little fox wife like, well, I only sold one today. And then I got robbed and died.
They got me with a light kill. Dum dee 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 dees. All right, now where are we going? Northern Frontier. Fog tomato.
I have strong ADD.
Only in an RPG would you find like a tomato covered in snow and be like, this would be a good ingredient.
It's fine. It's completely fine.
Oh. It's locked.
They have the Ohm symbol.
Yeah.
Ohm.
Alrighty. So we'll come back here because we can't do anything about it just yet. Commit that to memory.
ADD is strong. Luna's loafing.
There's a Zelda game for the DS where, like, if you come across a landmark, you can actually make a note on the DS.
Oh.
And, like, circle it.
Okay.
Because, like, that game was made with the idea of, like, map making.
Okay.
So, like, you're supposed to, like, put little clues or
Remind
symbols
yourself.
and stuff that remind you, hey, this is important.
I went, like,
when you gotta come back.
almost the full way through Link's Awakening without marking the map because I didn't know I could.
Putting those pins in.
Yeah.
Aw, shame.
Missed opportunity.
Yeah.
And then I would be like, wait, where was that thing
That feature
at?
was introduced in Skyward Sword. It's very helpful in Breath of the Wild, and it was nice that they actually went to an older Zelda and implemented it with Link's Awakening. Because the original did not have that.
Yeah.
But in Skyward Sword, you'd make beacons.
Okay.
So you'd pin them on the map, and then when you go back to the game, there would be like a light beacon, and that's where you put the pin.
Okay.
So you'd be like, there in the distance, there's the beacon I put. So you can mark like treasure chests or like things where it's just like, I'll get to you later.
I'll be back for you.
Dang it. A lot of enemies know poison. It's really annoying. Like even enemies that you don't think have poison. Like, usually in RPGs, it's just like the snake, the spider, like the poisonous plant, or something with poison in the name. It's just like, oh,
right.
It knows poison.
This
Better have
is
some
like a little
ready.
clapping snow crab.
This is a spiccoon. They are like clapping. It's just like,
yeah, they're like, yay, us!
oh boy.
Because when they walk, they stop clapping.
That is true.
I like that their shadows are there. I just saw that.
Yeah.
They have shadows.
Mm-hmm. Icicle kelp. Okay. This is the ice scene. So, like, the plot actually takes this huge derailment. Oops. Because we gotta find a way to cross the ice.
Mm-hmm.
So we go into this village and we actually have to solve the crisis of the village just to get a guide to walk across the ice.
Yeah.
So the next couple parts is going to be like a little bit of a side story that eventually connects back into the main story.
I'm already on a quest!
Yeah. How do you feel about that in games? Because it's common in RPGs, but like it's always just like, here's the main goal, but the story's going to be like,
I
you gotta
don't think
do this
I mind
to do that.
it. I don't think I mind it if it's not obsessive.
Okay.
So it's like, say like we are here and we have to go to the village, solve their problem to get a guide.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, so we go to the village and they're like, but you have to do 8 other things before you can solve our crisis, and then 4 other things before we can find you a guide. And then when you get the guide on your way there, it derails again and you have to do something else before you can get to the ice. That I'm just like, okay, enough of that. Like it's too much, because then like I lose track of what I'm doing and like where I'm at, and I get confused. It's like, okay, well where was the story going? Like where am I supposed to go? I much prefer like kind of one at a time.
Yo, just one at a time. Well, I'm not gonna spoil, but there's a scene coming up that was like really surprised me. And
I'm trying to remember.
Oh, cool. It'll be a surprise. It'll be a surprise just like the first time.
I like that the little owl runs behind the bigger enemy.
Save me! They got a big sword!
You let me die.
It didn't work.
It didn't work.
Dang it.
Who did that? Who?
Coon. There we go. Now, I'm going to get this chest, which is what I wanted to do when I first got here. Valiant poem. Indeed.
I'll trade you this for a poem. Can I pay in poetry?
Valiant poem. It's up here. Interferes with the flow of time from the ATP gauge when defeating enemies. Okay. So, like, it'll fill the gauge on top of EXP, I'm guessing.
Oh.
When an enemy dies.
Okay.
I can be down with that.
I kind of really want to make a hairpiece. Like Setsuna's, but smaller.
Oh, that'd be cute.
It's like a little barrette.
Which one? Because she has...
She has a lot of them.
Yeah, she has a lot of hair pieces. Also double as weapons. Ladies, defend yourselves the Setsuna way.
There was like an older, I want to say from either the 70s or 80s.
Eternity Layer? That was a weird one.
Like women's self-defense class that was like, if you're wearing heels, take your heel off
Yup.
and jab them in the eye.
I remember that
Yeah.
one. Use your heels, your nails, spikes in the hair.
They're also like taught to like pee on themselves.
Okay.
Like that's supposed to be a defense mechanism because it shows that you're human. Like it startles your attacker.
Against humans or like a pack of wolves?
No, like against humans. This was like
Really?
a self-defense course.
Okay. I mean,
Of like your attacker comes up behind you, stab them with your high heel. Pee yourself and they'll leave you alone. And I'm like, I don't think that works.
it depends, because like...
Yeah, I think it depends on what your attacker's goal is.
I think if the attacker is like, just like, give me your money, and you like shit yourself, it's like, ooh, never mind.
Yeah.
But I think if your attacker is like on methane or something, or like
Yeah, methamphetamines or like,
methamphetamines, yeah, that's what I
or
was
even
getting
if
at,
they're
sorry.
like a part of like the dark market or something, then they're not going to care.
No,
like
they're not.
you're a paycheck to them.
Yes. So, yeah, once again, it comes down to like varies on the situation.
Again, this was in like the 80s.
Oh, yeah. But the high heel one I've heard before.
Yeah. That one is really popular.
That was a
even
twist
still.
in an
Yeah.
episode of Law and Order. It's just like, well, how did he die? He has a hole in his head. Madam, take off your shoe. Does this look like the hole in the victim's head?
Yeah, just murdered one of our jury members. Ah!
That's right. I did it. He was always unfaithful to me. Dong dong. Oh, no. Isn't that the sound?
Yeah.
Dong dong.
Yeah. There's like a lawn care company out there somewhere, and like on the back of their truck, it's like Lawn and Order. We specialize in especially heinous lawns.
Oh.
And like that's the entire intro, but it's all about lawn care.
Nice. Okay, so we gotta save this boy from a pack of spaccoons.
He looks real terrified.
There we go. That's half of them. And now the other half.
I like how they like wiggle forward.
They just like shimmy on through the snow.
Yeah.
Can crabs withstand snow?
I
I
don't.
mean, it's an RPG. They can do whatever
Oh
the hell
yeah,
they want. But I'm
but
just
in real life, I
curious.
don't think so.
Okay.
Because they're cold blood.
Are they? I thought only reptiles were cold-blooded.
Well, I mean, they're fish. They live in the water.
Crabs are fish?
I don't think they're
like
fish. They're
crustacean.
crustaceans.
Yeah.
But like,
And that's the same?
I don't think they're warm-blooded though.
Right. Huh. I suppose. Because, like, insects are the
I'm
same
sorry,
way.
I can't come to work. My crab has a fever. Like, I'm sorry, what?
Your employer would think differently. Your crabs have a fever? What? Oh, boy. That's a
Yes,
real
they're
bad
running
diagnosis.
They're running a temperature.
You're safe now, little boy.
Skinny child. They're dead. They're all dead.
Nope, they were taken. Listen very carefully. I want you to hide under the snow. The next part is very important. They're going to take you. Taken 4.
I say it every time we bring up Taken, but I definitely thought that Liam Neeson was the guy that plays Al Bundy for the longest time.
That really adds different context, though.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. So, like, my sister still, like, pretends to, like, throat chop me, and she goes, you better stop or I'll Al Bundy you. And it's like, I thought for sure it was Al Bundy.
I will look for you. I will find you, and I will kill you. What's something that Al Bundy usually says? He usually says, like, a joke about, like, women being too big for his shoes.
Yeah.
Like, 1, 2, 3, 4, you will fall right through the floor.
Yeah, he makes, like, a lot of fat jokes. A lot of jokes about Peg.
Yeah. Hi, honey, did you miss me? With every bullet so far.
Yep. Which is funny, because those are all things that I usually don't necessarily enjoy, but I really love Married with Children.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't watched it in a while. My sister would watch it quite a bit. That and Boy Meets World and Full House. Those were the 3 that she'd always, like, shuffle between.
Okay.
Whereas my dad was Home Improvement. And, like, the family would watch a lot of Everybody Loves Raymond. Well,
yeah.
That's the end of the episode, folks. We'll see you guys in the next part as we save the villagers from the cave.